We're back. It's been so long, old friends and new friends. We're back. The last official real podcast I did was February 17th. Gosh, it's almost been 6 months, and I have been like aching, calling, craving to get back into podcasting. And so we're doing it in a really big way today. We're going to go behind the scenes. You've missed a lot. There's been a lot going on, tons of breakthroughs and miracles. I'm going to catch you up to speed, and then we're going to get back to our usual cadence. So here's what your lessons I've learned, news that's been going on that you may not have known about. Let's get started. I'm going to tell you what's happened. I'm going to give you a framework for yourself to be living in breakthrough and miracles and kind of what's been happening in my belief identity work that's created all these results. What I'll say is that here are the biggest things that I've learned, which are my life's work. This is the work I did before medicine. This is the work during medicine and after. So I am not surprised, but I'm finally getting breakthroughs. So I have been intentionally working on coming on the other side of it's still a bit of work in progress, but these are the things that I've been really finding a lot of release around. Taking off the table, I did something wrong. I realized whenever I made myself wrong, I was just totally blinded to any possibility of solving. I was just so, would spiral out in shame in an intense way. I wouldn't sleep, wanted to emotionally eat, and for sure was not solving problems. So I started saying, okay, what if it's not you at all? How would you solve this? And I started coming up with really good solutions and feeling good. And I just saw myself growing so much as a human and in my life and all my relationships and business. What that involved is a second very important lesson, which to be honest, I am still working on, but I found a lot of breakthroughs with letting other people have their thoughts and feelings about me, like letting them think horrible things about me and not having to fix it and not having to apologize or jump in or explain or beg them to understand my side. It's just like, no, 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 that's for them. This is for me. Their thoughts and feelings are about them. Now, do lots of people have horrible things about me? I really don't think so. I think people are much more like invested in their life and what they're doing and what's for dinner. I don't think we take up much space in anyone else's mind but our own. And I don't say that, and to me, that feels great. So that's not meant to belittle anyone. That feels great. Like, oh yeah, no, every human is very interested in themselves. But when I got to the place of I'm gonna let lots of people think horrible things about me and I was okay and safe, now, whatever's going on in the world with what people are thinking about me, I'm okay. Whether they love me, they're okay with me, they don't like me sometimes, they really hate me. Like the whole spectrum, I can be okay with. And that creates so much safety and ability to do and show up in the world how I want to show up and create what I want to show up. Take 6 months off my podcast because, like, right? Because I'm thinking I'm taking care of me first. And that's what I really want. I hope you echo and you kind of hear that for you too. Like, what would your life be different? How would your life be different? If you weren't worried about what other people were thinking or feeling, you just focused on you. It doesn't mean you become a terrible person and become super selfish and you do horrible things to the world. Not at all. It's actually the opposite. I found when I was very consumed with what other people were thinking and feeling about me, I found that I wasn't showing up in the world in a way that I loved. I was always overworking or pretending to be somebody else. It just was too much work. And so being able to release other people's thoughts and feelings about me was huge. And that what really helps me is thinking, all right, let's just say someone's really upset with how I coach. Like they're listening to my podcast and they're like, I hate that this woman has left medicine. By the way, I don't think anyone who like I don't think that person exists because they're just not gonna listen to the podcast. But the thinking being there, well, that's for them. Like, how does it make sense they are having a lot of feelings? They feel trapped in medicine. They feel they're telling themselves it's impossible to leave. They're very threatened by my choices. That's for them to work through. That's their work. Maybe they need a coach or a therapist. Maybe they want to leave medicine. That's for them, not me. And then I come back to, okay, what are my thoughts and feelings? How can I take care of me? How can I ground myself in what I want, the experience I want in my body, what I want to create? So focusing more on me, what's the feeling I want to have? You know, when I'm worried about what people are thinking about me, the feeling isn't love, joy, excitement. It's fear, panic, shame. Do I really want that in my body for the limited time I have on this planet? No thanks. So just refocusing on me versus them, huge release. I have done incredible work on my money beliefs. I don't know if you know this, but grew up very poor, inherited like many of us from the 70s have inherited lots of money stories about money is dangerous, bad people who are rich are terrible people. Money makes corrupts the world. Money's hard. Money's never going to be around. You can't trust. I had all these like scary, scary stories about money. And I really took a deep dive and have a totally different relationship with money. I shared it with my clients at my recent retreat, and there was so many tearful breakthroughs and releases around it. Because, hey, listen, just because you're one of the top earners in the world as a physician and you may be in a two physician household and you make maybe the most money in the whole world, you still have money beliefs and money stories and money scaries, as I call them. So I really worked through. I'm gonna make a course on this eventually. So life changing. But I'll tell you, here are some of my new money stories. So you can start on your money. If you have any money scary stories, this may help you. I've always had more than enough money, even way back when I was a little kid. It didn't seem that way. I found the truth. And how was there always more than enough money? I'm always taken care of. I always take care of me. Money flows. It comes in, it comes out. Money loves to be used. Money loves to be spent. Money loves to be invested. It loves to make more money. Money loves to have a work. I'm a good steward of my money. I'm about to receive amazing surprise money. There's obviously way more to everything I'm talking to you about. Stay tuned or join my coaching program. You'll hear more about this. So, as I went through these transformations, something that really was a breakthrough for me is to realize my most uncomfortable feelings have a purpose. My confusion, my rage, my hurt, my not enoughness, like my panic, my fear, my judgment, my anger, all of it had a purpose. I spent most of my life being like, please don't ever feel these feelings. Nice girls don't do this. Nice moms would never feel this way. I don't want to feel this. I want to feel this instead. I've really stepped into this place of all of my feelings have a purpose. They're all trying to tell me something very valuable. They all have wisdom. They're all trying to help me. They're all part of my big, beautiful, bold human experience. Why would I not want to have all of them if they're all part of my human experience? That was such a release because when I got there, I'm entitled. I want my anger. I want my rage. All of this is helping me grow. All of this has wisdom. And it did as I coached myself. And with my coaching, I went through like what is this anger here? I would find, oh my gosh, it's trying to protect it. I need more time off. I need to binge more TV. I need to be with my family more. I'm working too much. Like each one of those feelings had something to direct me to an up-leveled, better life. I was like, okay, if every feeling is making me more money, making me more impact, making me have a better relationship with my kids, why am I pushing all these feelings away? So I really dove into like embracing all parts of me, all of my feelings. And when I did that, here's the curious thing. I was able to let other people have all their feelings too. Because then I realized, okay, well, if my feelings are helping me, their feelings are helping them too. Let them have their feelings. Even if they're negative, even if they're about me, their feelings are for and about them. Huge breakthrough. And that really is the beauty of coaching is that wherever we're stuck, it will be reflected in everyone around us. That work will present in our job and our marriage and our friendships and our relationships with our parents. So, how we get unstuck is we take care of ourselves first. And when we have that release, now we're able to release that all across our lives. That's why coaching is so profound because you may come in to get a six-figure raise and you leave and you're no longer getting a divorce and your kids are talking to you now, right? We fix one thing, it actually fixes everything. Part of this journey has been the last few months has been finding great healing in my body and the wisdom of my body and not just my emotions, but like that my body, my intuition, my higher self, my body actually has all the answers. My brain is brilliant and it does incredible things. I love my brain, of course. And as physicians, we're generally in our brain most of the time. But I've learned the last few months to be in my body that where my brain can spin me out, telling me all the things that are going wrong and scare me with all these stories, my body is such a safe place for me to be. It's always offering wisdom and healing. And so I've been in my body a lot more. I've been listening to my intuition. So when I get confused or I'm getting scaries, I'll slow down, listen to my body, ask it what it has for me, and I will make decisions. Confusion, what I've been teaching is confusion just means you have an unresolved decision to make. Decisions will resolve that confusion. Same thing with rage, hurt. Like there's just some unresolved decisions that need to be made. So I've been teaching my clients how to make decisions toward lightness, towards freedom, towards liberation. What it is like, okay, I'm going to decide my schedule for the next month. What schedule would help me feel more light in my body? Are you thinking about a decision? I'm going to go see the in-laws, or I'm going to stay home. I'm going to go to Paris, or I'm going to go to Spain. Like you're making a decision. You have this bilateral, binary decision. Your brain will spin you out and be like, "Oh no, all these other things," but your body will be like, "France, please." Right? Your body will. There will be one decision that feels like lightness, freedom, and liberation. I've been choosing that more. And as I've been doing that, I've been able to teach my clients, okay, here's how you can make your life so much more simple. How you can enjoy your life so much more is turn inward to your body more than go upward to your brain. What's so fascinating is that during this time, this time where I've turned to my body, I'm kind of realizing this as I speak. I think I've been going through menopause for years, but I was diagnosed with late stage menopause. I did the labs, menopause expert. Don't send me any information about menopause. I love you, OBGYNs, but I have a really, really great doctor here in Denver. And she's like, "Oh, you're in late phase menopause, late stage menopause. The worst is over." And it's just so interesting. Like in this time period where I've become very in tune with my body's been such a healing place. I've been going through menopause. And to part of my brain that feels like an oxymoron. And when I got the diagnosis, I was like a little bit relieved. I was like, oh, everything now makes sense. And also, I was so tearful. I remember crying in my husband's arms and being like, oh my gosh, this phase of my life is over. Like my ovaries are little dead ovaries. Like it's grieving. I was like, there's a part of, and he didn't kind of understand it, but I was like, if one of your organs just gave out, you might grieve, right? Especially an organ that's tied to so much of women identity. And like we have ideas about what menopause looks like and from when we were a kid. And I had all of this like grief just like came up for me. And I've definitely allowed myself to cry. And also, but open as I see is like, I wonder if how I've become so in tune with my body in the last couple of years, especially the last few months, has to do with menopause. Instead of worried about tending to releasing, like having children and being fertile and um, creating life and creating tending to all these human beings outside of me, my body's been like, actually, it is now time to take care of you. And that was kind of a beautiful thing. Like this next phase of my life is much more centered on me. Like my body didn't fail. It decided to take care of me first, which feels so profound and so beautiful and just resonates with every cell of my body. My ovaries didn't fail. They just said, it's time to take care of you now, Christina. Ah, so huge. So there's just been this past few months a big release of old patterns. You might be hearing old money stories, all the money stories from when I was a kid. And by the way, our money stories are formed when we're like 5, 6, 7 years old. When we're very small, we inherit our parents' money stories. They inherit their Perry stories. And if you grew up in the 70s, you're going to trace yourself back to the Depression. And those are scary stories. And watching the news does not help. So I released a lot of that and just walked into so much abundance and miracle and creation and safety around money and changing my relationship with money. Releasing all these stories, you got to be nice, you got to smile, you're not supposed to feel these feelings. I'm like, no, all of it is part of my human experience and liking me most. Okay, so next February, around the time that I stopped to do the podcast, I went on a Colorado road trip, which is really kind of an identity shift. I'd always told myself, "Oh no, I can't drive that far. I get nappy when I get in the car," which I do. I normally get very car sick, and napping is a protective response. Because if I'm sleepy, I'm not nauseous. So I have this story: I can't do any road trips without Mike. And my daughter was coming home and had identified she wanted to do this road trip around Colorado, literally a circle around Colorado, which sounded incredible. But I was like, I can't do that much driving. I can't be in charge of these kids. I can't plan this road trip. I had all these I can'ts stories. And this was the week Mike was going to go to USCAP, which is the professional annual organization for pathologists. And I just want to say it's so dumb that this meeting is always on spring break. Now, some people will be like, well, I just bring my kids to spring break. I promise you, your kids do not want to be at SCAP. This meeting like starts at 6, it ends at midnight. It's super stressful. It's usually in a boring city. Like, who wants to be in Boston in February? That is a terrible idea. Take us to Hawaii, please. Anyways, so my husband's gone. My daughter wants to do this road trip. And it was such an identity shift of like, I am purposely kind of like, I don't need this USCAP meeting, this annual professional meeting anymore. What I want most is to be with my kids. So this was a perfect invitation. We did it. And I actually, my daughter planned it out, and my husband and my daughter, they planned it out. So I didn't have to worry about hotels. And if they plan it, and sometimes my husband picked out, because my husband is very economically oriented, picked out a terrible, terrible hotel. And I would just say, I'm going to go find another one. And I would drive around. We went into one we had paid, we had set ourselves up. And my spidey sense was, this is just not going to work. And I'll tell you, I hope you're not eating, but when the sewage came out of the toilet at midnight, I said, kids, get in the MF and van, we're leaving. And I found a beautiful, high-end, bougie as hell spa with, what do they call it? Those hot bath spot, those hot natural springs, hot springs, and a view of the mountains. So we wound up booking like two. My husband booked hotels, and often I would just go find something more bougie. We did it. So I had to work through my money beliefs, y'all. We went on the $1 million highway. If you've ever been in Colorado, you know what I'm talking about. It's a little stretch of highway that costs $1 million because it really should just be one road, one way, but it's two ways. But there's no shoulders, it's cliffs. There's no side protector, it's cliffs. I was so scared. And I did it. I told myself never do it again. And it was gorgeous. It was like they call it the Switzerland United States. We had such an amazing time, but it was such a release of my pathology identity. I was not at that meeting and I did not want to be there. Release of I need my husband because there might be bears and I can't drive. Release of so much identity work. While I've been gone, I've done a ton of in-person events. And some of them are my own and just going to other in-person events, which really released this part of the story I've had myself. I'm an extreme introvert. It's very, very stressful for me, which all of that was true, but it was stressful because I told myself I couldn't be me, that it was wrong to be by myself, that I should be out there at the dinners, that if I don't have anyone to talk to at the break, something's wrong with me. I'm being rejected. Like I had all these really scary stories. I just released all of it. And I said, I'm going to take care of me. And being alone is when I take care of me best. Also safe to connect with people. I belong wherever I want to be is where I belong. I can leave anytime. I'm going to opt out of whatever I want to. I always ask for what I want. I can leave at any time. So it's really beautiful. I was at my coach's retreat and kind of clicky. All of these big coaching retreats all big coaching events are clicky. I don't care who it is. It's going to be clicky. And it's okay. I mean, I paid peace with it. It doesn't mean the coaching event is bad. It just means that she has certain friends. Of course she does, who she's going to be closer with. And that inner circle is going to be very closed off because they trust each other and also whatever, for whatever reasons that I really understand. But instead of making myself wrong, like, oh, look at these people that are so clicky and closed off, I was like, what do I want to do? So went on walks every night. I love, 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 love kicking dandelions and making wishes. I should call them children's wishes. And we were in DC and I took myself to the zoo, took myself to museums. I found dandelion patches and I went ham on those dandelion patches. I went hard on them. I just like stood there and I just kicked them all. I must have kicked 5,000 dandelion patches. I must have walked 20 miles. I had an amazing time. So I release this old pattern. I'm an introvert. These are scary stories. I can't do this. I definitely did. I also had my own in-person events, lots of them, lots of them. I did small group in Denver. I did One-on-one days. One of them we spent the whole day at Big Sur. We went to a really bougie resort that served us food and had beautiful views of the cliff, and we just coached all day long. Created a 3-day very bougie event in Niagara Shores, this really bougie hotel. I flew in or a bougie Airbnb right on the river. We flew in a chef. We had 3 luxury days. Everyone got a lot of coaching. And my story before was, I can't do this. It's too much for me. I'm an introvert. I can't coach all day. I'm going to be tired. And all of it was life changing for the people who came and for myself. And what I felt in all these experiences, I felt transported back to 8-year-old me in the best way, not the scary way, but 8-year-olds when I was carefree. And the only person I had to worry about is like, what do I want to do? Do I want to read? Do I want to do this? I felt surrounded by women physicians my age who totally got me. I didn't have to explain myself. I felt like a young girl again. I made all these friends. I left with so much confidence. I released the story. I also had made, around this time I stopped podcasting with you all, I realized I didn't have enough girlfriends. And so I was like, oh, look at me making girlfriends. And we talk several times a day now. Yes, release that identity. Okay, let's go. Let's say other things that I've been doing while you've been gone, while I've been gone, is I hired a manifestation coach. I've been doing a lot of manifesting and it's been really fun. So, manifesting, here's what I want to say about it. Coaching by itself can feel very gaslighty if you're in the wrong community. It's very easy to blame yourself, even if you're a masterful coach. And it gets you so far. Coaching is like your thoughts create your results. Okay, but what if I'm not thinking like how I want to create, right? Like there's coaching will get you so far and then it'll feel like a brick wall. Manifestation is a way where you create in a different way, a more like spiritual way. You're still using your thoughts, but it's a more spiritual process. So it kind of, and also I think manifestation by itself is not great. It can get you way too woo. You can start feeling like all I need is think to cure cancer. Like that's what the secret. They literally say that. That's not exaggeration. Um, so manifestation by itself also I'm not a fan of, but putting them together, coaching and manifestation, I found to be like a profound transformation. So coaching could help a lot, but when I got stuck, I'd dip into manifestation. Manifestation helped a lot, but when I got stuck, I'd go over to coaching. I created in my program, it's totally free for my clients. It is an advanced manifestation course, really could be $5,000. People are creating long-awaited pregnancies after years of infertility, buying their dream job, creating their dream job, getting married, getting on stages, creating 6 figures raises. People are creating incredible things. I'm seeing so many more client results because manifestation plus coaching is a magical combination. And when you're in my program and you get access to that for free. There are things that helped in the past few months is I've been learning. I see myself not quite there yet, but I've been learning how to take everyone. Before I say this, I want to say another example of opting in and out. So I went to a coaching event last year and she had this experience that people described as like they loved it. It was a somatic kind of experience where there was a live band playing drummer and like vocal kind of like primal music, very loud, and everyone was supposed to just dance around and run around the room, run at each other and hold each other's arms. Okay, for my nervous system, that was a effing nightmare. I hated it, but I made myself stay there because I was like, well, I paid all this money, but I don't want to look like I'm not I don't want to look difficult. I want to be the nice girl and I'm supposed to really like this. And so I made myself do it and it was horrible experience for me. So when I went back to the same retreat with the same person who likes to do a lot of somatic stuff, I told myself, opting out of any of that. And of course, she comes to the part where she's like, everyone stand up, everyone sway, everyone push your bellies out. And I knew I was not going to do it. And so I saw myself like have an inclination to stand up and be a nice girl. And I said, I told myself already, I'm opting out of anything that feels uncomfortable. And I sat there and I just took care of myself. And I felt so good to be taking care of myself. And just where could we be taking that throughout our life? I'm going to opt in and opt out of whatever I want at the in-laws, at the job, at faculty meeting, on vacation with my family. Maybe I don't have to go eat hot dogs if I don't want to. I could order in room service, right? Okay, so next point, which kind of blends into what I just told you, but something that I learned that was a big breakthrough is I just realized I was putting people on pedestals. I've done this my whole life. I remember I was talking to someone in medicine, and she's like, you talk about your chair like he's your dad. You talk about your chair like she's your mom. It's like, I do that. And I did the same thing with when I left medicine with my coaches, is putting them on pedestals, which always was a disaster because it kind of made me listen to them over me. Like I override my own inclination for them. So I've been taking people off pedestals. I still love on them and I still like very, very much appreciate their input, but I've taken them off pedestals, which means I've learned to take what I love and leave the rest. Do you see the theme here of letting people have their own experience and me deciding mine? So there are a couple of retreats I paid for and I just didn't go on. So I was like, I don't like this coach anymore for me. I mean, she's not for me anymore, even though I paid for it and released it. Do you see how the money belief story became really prominent in the last few months? All of this tied together because what's beautiful about money work is it's never just about money. It's usually tied to our thoughts about our identity, time, who we are, value, what we mean in the world. So it's the kind of work that as you work on your money beliefs, it releases so much else. As you work on so much else, it's going to release your money stories. So I stopped working with some of the coaches I paid for. I was like, I just am not that interested in them anymore. I let myself leave money on the table, knowing that my time and taking care of me was most important. All right, career. Let's switch over to career stuff. And these thoughts I've given to my clients who are actively in medicine. They've loved them. So take this for you too. I have noticed, this is a thing I've noticed in me and in clients, when we're suffering the most in our career is when we have attached something of value to a very strict timeline. And it sounds like this. Not where I'm supposed to be. I'm behind. Should be further along by now. Says who? We're the ones who made up this outrageous timeline. If all you do is remove the timeline, now you're able to get the thing you want. You feel better along the way. The timeline, folks, is made up. So here's what I've taught people. Detach from your time. Your career is long. You actually do not have to get everything accomplished this summer. Your career is long. There is no one moment. This is the one time in history. None of that is true. Your life is long. The opposite of that I've also been teaching and integrating for myself is, and what do I want to do? If I'm not attached to time, and kind of the thought here is my life is short. In the grand scheme of things, right? This is kind of a paradoxical statement. My life is short. What do I want to do? What do I want to experience? What feeling do I want in my body? Where do I want my body to be in time? It definitely ain't at us, Cap. Oh, no, thank you. I'm not going to that meeting ever again in my entire life, no matter what. Even if they asked me to coach, it would be absolutely no. Right? So when you turn to your body, what do you want? And for some of you, by the way, you're gonna be like, oh, I love USCAP. I did when I was in medicine. I don't know if I would love it now still as a coach, but anyways, your response will be uniquely yours, is what I want to emphasize. So I took time off the podcast. It took, I don't know how many months, 6 months, 4 months. I've never done that before, but I was like, my body just doesn't want to do it right now. And then I have definitely noticed in the last few weeks a real calling, a real like movement towards wanting to get back to the podcast. But I really simplified my coaching schedule. I only coach 3 days a week, 3 weeks a month. To say it another way, I take 4 days off a week. I take 1 week off every month. Some weeks some months I take off 3 weeks or a month off. But in general, my norm is I work 3 days a week. I work 3 weeks a month. I've really been looking at how can I be getting more done with less work. It doesn't mean my clients are getting bad results. Actually, my clients are getting better results than ever before. So if you have a thought, you have to work hard in a certain number of hours to get a result, it's wrong. You can get more results, a better impact by working less. And I'll tell you how. Well, let me just say it here since that's where we are, is I built a better curriculum. I took some time. I have been a curriculum machine behind the scenes. So I made that advanced manifestation course. I built out a trauma-informed physician coach training certification, which is I've never had that before. And I built a 100K curriculum, how to make the next 100K in your coaching business with the mission to fix your job when you become a coach, even if you're not a professional coach. You know how to coach your boss, you're gonna create the best job ever. It's a secret of creating the best physician job ever. So fix your physician job, sign your first client, make your physician job optional. Create a curriculum all around that. Made a curriculum for Next Level Freedom, my lifetime group coaching program, how to get to part-time hours in your full-time job without a pay cut. The curriculum, when your curriculum is strong, you don't have to be in your program every living minute. Your curriculum can be your head coach. And so I started seeing people were getting better results than ever before. We had like a breakthrough. Someone got up to part-time hours, the full-time job in under 2 weeks because the curriculum got so much better. Best results ever we've ever seen in coach certification came when I made the 100K curriculum. People started getting on TED Talks, national stages. They started cutting back to 14 hours a week while getting a pay raise, starting coaching businesses, booking out their programs, turning in 90 days to their hospital job because their coaching could replace that. Not because they worked more hours, because they built a better curriculum. So that's where you want to, whether you're a coach or not, is really see how could I get better results by working fewer hours? It's definitely possible. Now, along the way, I did have some unexpected obstacles. My story, you're going to see that a lot, doing a lot of before and after here. My story is I'm a very loyal person. When I find a coach I love, I usually stay with her for years. Um, Same with the VA, where you see a lot of coaches, they'll go through VAs like they go through Kleenex. They're going through VA every other week. And my thought about that is you don't know how to hire or you don't know how to keep talent. But if you're going through 5 VAs in 5 months, the problem is not the VA. The problem is you. And so I've kind of like used that story as I've had Shannon for 4 years from the very beginning, only one VA. I am such a good boss. I'm so good at hiring and taking care of my talent. And so in 1 week, like in a couple of days, Shannon turned in her notice. She had accepted this beautiful job in fashion because let's be honest, her goal was not to be a VA forever. I always knew that. She found a dream job in fashion that was going to be full time. And my coach was taking a medical leave. And I spun out big time. So I was like, all my success is because of them. What's going to happen when and they're leaving at the exact same time? I spun out. So I learned the growth opportunity there is I released the painful story that they're responsible for my success. And I came to the realization it's always been me. And really, that's the truth. Is I'm the one that hired them. I could hire someone else and maybe someone better for what I need. And if I was to be honest, I would say with both of them, I was sensing, I think we're coming to an end point. And this brings up like another huge life lesson for me is to leave when things are good. I tend to, because I'm so loyal, I stay in relationships and jobs a little too long. And so learning to listen to my body when my body's like, I think we're done here. It's time to move on, like listening to that most versus my brain being like, we're going to stay with them forever. So the idea, what helped the coaching that really helped me there is to be like, I'm still a loyal person. I'm still a great boss. I'm still really good at hiring. And also I can leave when my first inclination that we're ready for something else, that I am the constant, not them. I learned how to hire. It was like, my coach was like, there's just no way you're going to hire someone in a week. Give yourself a couple of months. I hired an amazing, actually, there were 3 people I could have hired. Any one of them would be great in a week. So I developed a really, really good process. I'm going to build a whole course on that for my coaches. That's coming. Okay, family. My daughter, for those of you who are following, is having a baller year in college, just killing it across the board. Academically, becoming a superstar, built a really good friend group, has a boyfriend that we all love. Incredible. We just went to Carnegie Hall for Maddie to accept an award on the stage. Like of hundreds of thousands of artists, Maddie was selected as one of the top nation's artists. Incredible. There were all kinds of fancy, famous people came to give to came. Oh, Carnegie Hall was standing room only. It was completely booked to see these artists receive this award. And they had all kinds of famous people come in and give speeches, incredible speeches. I'll do a whole other podcast on what they taught, including Tracy Morgan, including um, I don't remember all the names because I'm not an art person, but if you were an artist, you would recognize their names. They came and gave these really powerful speeches. It was this a celebration of my child, who, by the way, is the most humble person you'll ever meet. And we spent a week in New York City, one of my favorite cities in the whole world. I went to college there, and I'm so enchanted by it. And I spent the whole month traveling around. So went from there to New York, explored New York City, all our favorite places, and then went to in-laws' house and had my own retreat and came back and went to my coach's retreat. So learning how to evolve your relationship with your adult daughter has been something I've been learning. So interesting about parenting is that as soon as you figure it out, they change. All right. You're always learning. And so we've been figuring out the adult relationship. And I'll tell you this, for those of you who have children, here's my lesson to you. Always focus on connection and love. Wherever your brain's like rules, but this, and that, and this is what it would look like to be appreciated. And she said that, and now she's not here. Like he's playing video games. She's not where she said. She didn't say thank you. I'm bringing a lot of one-on-one coaching we've been doing. These sentences are very common for moms. Focus those sentences. If you were here, I'd say, what does it feel like? My kid is lazy. She doesn't appreciate me. What does it feel like? That's not love. That's disconnection. It's coming from rigid rules in your brain. Replace it with love. Focus on connection. I promise you, whatever age your kid is, what they need most in this world is not more rules and consequences and grounding. They need a parent who loves and believes in them. Get back to connection. So, this is a thought that really helped me. My daughter is whole and complete, just as she is. And so am I. And that really helped me when daughter would in high school would want to be up to 3 in the morning. And I do not love that at all. For me, I love to go to bed at 10 p.m. very regularly. I get migraines, all kinds of things happen. I could fight with her about it. I could tell her, this is crazy. You're never gonna, you're never, I could have told her, you're not gonna get a good job this way. I could have really spun out. I could have given her consequences and grounding her. I didn't want that. Because, first of all, I don't think that's true. I think teenagers have different body. I think they have different rhythms, and some of them like to stay up to 3 a.m. Focused on connection. Said, listen, daughter, as long as you're in your room at 10 p.m., you don't wake me up. You're at school on time and you're doing grades. You go to bed and wake up whenever. I'm not going to fight you on this. With your adult children, focus on connection and love over all else. And just remember, here's something to remember about this. Think about your relationship with your parents. Now, when you're a teenager, when you have kids, did you ever really appreciate when your mom was like, you don't appreciate me, you're lazy? Did that have you love her more, or did that have you kind of hate her and not want to be around her? Focus on love and connection above all else. All right, husband. What I learned from husband in the past 6 months. I learned he has a lot of money stories. I always thought his money stories, or when he would say things, I thought, oh my God, money scary stories. And I would believe them. And I started questioning them. And I realized, oh, he has some money stories. Those are his money stories. So I've learned to give them back to him. We all have money stories, by the way. But I think I've had this story like he's so much better than me in all these ways because he's had a different family life, this and that. And I've really come to really honor myself. We've had a different upbringing for sure. His wasn't perfect, neither was mine. But both of us have our own set of stories. So I've learned to stop making myself worse and make him better and just hand back his stories to him. I also learned this is really good. Mamas, you're going to love this. The moms I've shared this with have really loved this. I have told him I need to be babied sometimes. And he'll be like, is this my independent woman who went to a women's college who's a feminist? And I'd be like, yes, sometimes a feminist wants to be babied. I don't need to drive everywhere to prove I'm this certain woman. Like I need to be baby. So when I'm in a lot, when I my business is very busy during certain seasons, or when I come back from traveling, I will tell him I just need to be babied. And sometimes that involves him unpacking my bag. Most often him cuddling me while I watch my favorite show, HGTV. HGTV. I love watching House Hunters International, and he just cuddles me, and I'll ask him, tell me all the things you love about me, and I want all the new things. I'll be like, don't tell me things you already told me. I want all new things. It's such a source of like my heart syncs with his. I feel so cared for and loved. Being able to ask for what you want. There's a theme here. In-laws. So my in-laws and I, to be honest, I'd say we've had a contentious relationship. They're very nice. They're very nice people, and so am I. But sometimes we don't see eye to eye, maybe for a number of reasons. And I spent a whole week with them without my husband around, which I thought was a little risky. And it was. And my husband was super shocked. But it was fantastic. We had the best time ever. I looked around the room. I may have said this. I definitely told my husband. I was like, I've always said this. Our relationship was contentious, and here we are existing here without Mike and having an amazing time. Guess what I think the problem is? Mike, not me. So good, so good. We had such a good time. I told him I'm coming back next fall, and here's what we're doing. We made all these plans, and my husband's like, I'd like to be there. I was like, you can come, but if you don't, I'm going to have a week with your parents. We had so much fun. But here's how I made it work. I asked for what I wanted. I didn't make myself wrong. In the past, I wouldn't ask. I was like, this is such an ungrateful person. Like, who dares goes to someone's house and ask for these things? But I was like, I'm gonna ask for what I wanted. So the things I asked for, I said, please don't have anybody else come over but me. They have a really big house and a very big family, and it completely overwhelming. Like sometimes 40 or 50 people will be there. There is no, like, they're all bodies are all over the floor at night, not even on mattresses. There's two bathrooms. None of that is okay with my nervous system. So I said, can we pick a week where no one else will be there? Are you okay with it? They're like, sure, no problem. You tell us when. Can we pick a week where you can have high-speed internet in case I need to do some coaching stuff? I'll pay you for it, but can we arrange it? Sure, no problem. Can we have the AC on? Folks, I'm going through menopause. I don't have hot flashes, but sometimes I get warm and they don't like having the AC on. I'm going to need some alone time. These are the things I want to see. I want to go to the cemetery. I want to go on this museum tour. I'd love for you to come with me, but if you don't, can I have your car? Learning to ask for what we want is what brings connection to ourselves and then to others. So as we're kind of close up, I'll say a couple of other things the theme if we're kind of like settling on themes, I really focused on taking care of my inner child. So you'll notice I talked about Niagara Falls. I felt like I was 8 years old. I had let myself be babied. I took care of myself in really, really powerful ways. Healing your inner child is what will make you feel very safe right now. I feel like I went on summer camp this summer. I traveled all of June to all these amazing things and all these amazing things. I went first class everywhere. I said, told my husband, stop asking me if I want to go first class or not. I'm always going to be in first class. Like, this is what I do now. I went on all these fun trips. I've created more time, more money, more results, more freedom, best clients results than ever, ever, ever before by taking care of my inner child. If you don't know what that is, you can get books, audiobooks. You can be in my world will help you with that. I focused on the past few months has really been focusing on up leveling all my client results and my business. And some things that help me, I go into a lot more of this in the program, in the coach training program. I'll just say really quickly, because this I think can help help doctors in medicine as well. I have a new relationship with AI and ChatGPT. When I first tried it a few years ago, I was like, this is dumb. I hate it. But I have figured out how to harness AI to be my creative director, to be my co-coach, to like save me tons of time. So I'm doing such better work so much faster. I taught about that at Niagara Falls, and I teach about that in my group. I have lessons on this. But I just want to say, check out ChatGPT. It can really help you. So things I've done in my business will look very different in the last few months. I've done a rebrand. Actually, I don't know if I've ever really had a brand, but we did something. We've up leveled it. It's coming out this month. So you'll see it. Rebrand means like this cohesive visual experience. I did a whole photo shoot which I could do a whole podcast on. And I actually would say, even if you're an introvert, consider doing a photo shoot. If you had to find a photographer you love, but it is like a portal to your future self. It'll help up level your identity. It is part of taking care of your inner child. Your inner child likes, I mean, or at least mine does, loves to get dressed up and treated like a princess. And then you see the pictures and you're like, this version of me has released all these painful, scary stories. I built out a certification program for my trauma-informed physician coach training. We've had the coach training for 5 rounds, but I added certification to it and built a 100K curriculum, how to make your next 100K. And it was incredible to see how these coaches up leveled their coaching and created the tangible results they created in the by coaching their boss to six-figure raises or to the schedule that they love, signing their first client, making their physician job optional, building a coaching practice, getting on the national stage, cutting back their hours. Just the results that they created when I improved and offered certification with a strong curriculum behind it. We built out a curriculum and Next Level Freedom, my lifetime group coaching program. And we started seeing people cut back to hours, the full-time job in record time, as few as 2 weeks. We built VIP programs. So when people in my coaching programs achieve the promise, they unlock a whole like secret menu of advanced courses, including the advanced manifestation that really could be $5,000 course. And we're adding so much more to it. Did live events. We did small in-person VIP events, luxury events that involve renting houses and cars and flying in chefs. And we also did individual one-on-one VIP luxury days at Big Sur and just changing, releasing so much identity work in myself and my clients. I think how I've been able to do so much in such a little time is this is also the most coaching support I've had in my entire life. So, and I'm not saying you have to have this, I'm just kind of going behind the scenes. So, I have a private one on one coach, I have a manifestation coach, and I don't see all these people every week. My private one on one coach, I see every week. My manifestation coach, I mean, maybe once a quarter, I'll talk with her. Somatics coach can clear my energy, again, maybe once a quarter. My intuitive coach, a couple times a month. Business coach, a couple times a week. I am looking into some other models and certifications and different tools that I'm bringing for myself, but also for my clients, which is really interesting. I've had a lot of coaches tell me, you don't have to get any more certification. It seems like you're kind of buffering. It seems like why you don't need any more. Why can't you just what are you afraid of, Christina? Terrible coaches. I mean, that's terrible coaching. But my own coaches have said that before. And so I stopped working with them. But they weren't doctors. And so here's how I think about it. Doctors become doctors because we love learning. We are students of the world. Of course, we're going to learn the rest of our lives. And for me, it's like, I don't want, what example is that for my clients to be like, oh, I got one certification, I'm done learning? Versus I'm always learning. I'm always going to be a different coach. Every time you see me, you're going to learn, you're going to have a different, better experience because I will be a better coach. That's what I want to offer my clients. I want them to have a different, better experience. And you'll see my clients often work with me for years and years and years because it's a different experience every time. It's always getting better. So if you're a physician, and then if you're a physician coach who loves learning, there's nothing wrong with that. I'll say like to the coaches who would say, aren't you buffering? It's like, I'm not afraid. I'm doing this because I love, and my business is as strong as it's making the most money and impact that it's ever been. There is nothing buffering here. This is me listening to the wisdom of my body to create the experience I want for myself and my clients and my family and people I love in this world. This is me taking care of my inner child. If you don't understand it, that's for you. So this is where like letting people have their own thoughts and feelings. And also I know what my body needs. So what's next is I don't exactly know, and I kind of love it. I want to be more of a intentional student of the world. I want to travel 3 weeks. I want to be 3 weeks in another country every single year. And I've actually already done that. I did Scotland and Ireland for 3 weeks last year. I'm doing Germany this year, but I want to be more intentional about it. Definitely do it every year. I'm going to keep growing and certifying and taking other programs. I am fully stacked with coaches. And I think that's what's helped me build so much this year. And we're only in July. I'm going to do an equine therapy session next as a client. in 2 weeks. And I think that's going to be profound. I'm signing up for focusing felt sense polyvagal model theory. So working more with a therapist and those tools to bring into my coaching program. I am working more closely with an intuitive and body coach to bring those tools in. So in summary, this past 6, 7 months has been incredibly liberating, total freedom, completely feel like I am my 8-year-old carefree version, first class everything. This is the single best time to be in my world. So if any of what I said resonated, and if you've been with me this long on this podcast, it was resonating. There's never been a time to join my world. So here's a couple of things, a couple of ways you can join. I'm going to be doing a whole new masterclass in August. How to create 6-figure raises, 5-figure bonus, 4-day work weeks. It's a negotiation strategies for the woman physician. Make sure you're on my email list. I'll put it in the show notes. Make sure you're on my email list because it's going to go to the email list first to find the details. And then if you want to be in my world, you're like, I see all these assets. I see all of this energy. I want to be there. I want to build a world where I feel safe. My inner child is taken care of, and I'm creating the most money, time, connection, and love. I want to be figure out how to parent in a way that feels like love. I want to be babied in my marriage. I want to ask my in-laws to keep their house closed for me and put that AC on. I want that. Come inside my coaching world. You can get started this week. I'm going to give a link to book your free sales call so we can get you started this week. Sign up now. See you there.